Rochie, welcome to the show. And it is such an honor to have you on board. I mean, I know we've been trying to do this for months now, and finally you're here. So, yay!
I know, like, thanks for having me so much. I'm so excited, and I didn't know when this would happen, but now that it has, I am very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Superb. So, Roshi, everybody knows you, everyone has heard you, but to know the insight of what your life has been like, could you give us an insight of how your journey has been from the starting till now? Could you tell us what your challenges were and how has the journey been so far?
Honestly, I'll tell you, I wanted to fund my way through college for myself. So I didn't want my dad or my mom to pay for it. So I started working when I was in school. I was 16 and I started writing for this teenage magazine. And
Oh,
upwards of there, it's been like doing television, doing radio, doing journalism, all like bunched in together. So for a few years, I was a journalist. For a few years, I became a radio jockey, went back to television, came back to radio. The challenge honestly has been for me to just stay on top of the game, because how radio was consumed 10 years ago is not the way radio is consumed now.
absolutely.
How do you stay relevant, right?
Correct.
Because 10 years ago I was talking to a different set of 30 years old. 10 years now, coming back to radio, I'm talking to like another set of 30-year olds. So
That's
that's a huge difference. Also,
correct.
if you do TV, right? Like, so I was working with NDTV Good Times for a really long time.
Okay.
And I always wanted to be a traveler, and I thought it was such a dream job. And you get to travel and you get to be, shot in great locations and wear really nice clothes. Trust me, it is not what it's made out to be because I've shot in snow, which is high, and I've shot in really hot tropical conditions, wiping my face off of sweat every 5 minutes. So let me just tell you, everything that looks pretty from a distance, you have to really slog your way into the heart.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think you've done a great job there. So I would like to congratulate you. And also for everyone watching you right now on the show, Roshi, could you tell us how different is what you're doing now from how different it was 10 years ago? What are the changes? How different is it to be, have a social media presence now? Could you tell us a
Oh
little bit
God.
about
So I think I was doing radio like exactly 10 years before this. And then for the 10-year hiatus for radio, I was doing television, right? So I come back to radio and now suddenly there is Facebook, there is Twitter, there is Instagram, and you have to stay relevant on all of it. So it's hard because you're consistently competing with people who are better and funnier and smarter every single day. So
that?
that honestly is a challenge. But I'll tell you the funny thing. So 10 years ago, I was helping people through relationships. 10 years later, I'm helping people through relationships. What's changed is how people date. So, earlier it used to be like, say someone's 26. Their problem used to be, my mom wants me to get married. My dad wants me to get married. I'm in this long term relationship, but I don't know if he's serious enough. Like, that's tops where it used to be.
Correct.
Now, what's changed is I had a hookup. I'm in love with this guy. I'm 35. I don't want to have a baby. Should I be freezing my eggs? So, how Gen Z approaches relationships is
Yeah,
very different from how the millennials back then used to. Also,
correct.
people are so lonely, like we're trying to make sense of life in such different ways. 10 years ago, it was a lot simpler, but it was also a lot more conditioned towards, goal setting. So it used to be like, we need to have children, we need to have FDs, we need to have this, that, and the other. Now people are like, I want to be a pet parent, I want to be a plant parent. I remember somebody called me, okay, and she said that I decided to be a plant parent with my boyfriend, and we would switch that plant between us every week.
Okay.
And she's like, he killed my plant. He didn't water it. It's dead. I'm gonna dump him. Like,
Oh God.
right? So how people date has changed enormously in the last 10 years. But I also feel like people have become very conscious. So Gen Z is really conscious of the earth, of what they do, how they travel, who they want to be with, what red flags are. 10 years ago, people were like marrying their toxic partners. Now people are giving them the boot. So a lot has changed. I mean, honestly, for me, it's just mind boggling. Um, And the more things change, the more they remain the same. So people were chasing love 10 years ago. People are chasing love now.
Mhm. So also, when we talk about the emergence of social media and content creation, because you are very very popular even on Instagram. So uh, you're an RJ. We love your voice that is there, but your social media presence is also very strong. So how important, Roshi, do you think in today's times is the presence of social media and to be out there, to be posting everything that you're doing? How important that do you think is?
I mean, honestly, if you ask me, it's really important. Like, that's the feelers that we get, that it's really important. But honestly, of late, and this is so amazing that we're having a conversation about this, I think that if you have great pertinent things to say or something which is very typically you, only then can you manage any level of success. So again, authenticity is so integral. Even with social media, people who are doing really well, if they love fashion, they are only talking about fashion, and that really works. If I believe in love and relationships, I'm only putting that out there, even though I have a multitude of other interests. I love reading books, I love watching movies, I love poetry, but I focus on love. And I think social media is all about just streamlining that one thing that you're obsessed with and putting it out there. And that's how you get seen. And that's how you get, but you know what, I'll tell you one thing, as opposed to any other content creator, and I don't know how it works for them. I know all of them have great fan bases. The kind of love, touch wood, that I get with like my tiny bunch of followers is so incredible. You should see the holy messages I get. You should see the Diwali messages I get. It's so touching that there are these people who never met you. You've never met them, but thanks to
Correct.
social media, they're connecting with you in ways which are unreal. Like, people presume that when they get in touch with me, I'm going to be able to help them with their love life, and
Mhm.
and that intimacy that social media allows you to have with people who follow you is, I think, remarkable.
Absolutely. And I think you deserve all the love. Come to the second segment of our episode, which
Okay.
is asking the expert. So, what will happen is I'm going to give you the full screen. I'm going to ask you a question, and then the stage is going to be yours, you and the
Okay.
audience. All right. So the question for you, Roshi, is any three tips that you would like to give to the audience for making it in the industry, in the radio industry? Because not many people know how do they start. A lot of people are passionate about this. A lot of people want to do this, but not a lot of people know how to go about it. So here we have our expert. So I'm just going to give you the full screen, and there you go.
So honestly, I feel like tip number one is you have to be consistently informed of what's going on around you. It's not just reading the newspapers, it's also watching movies which are relevant, listening to songs that are relevant, because radio is all about channeling everything you have into the 40 seconds you have to talk about. And you have to be really on point with how informed you are. Number two, I think a lot of people mistake radio to be, hey, I love talking, so I can be on radio. Everybody knows how to talk. How clear are you with putting your thoughts across? That's what really matters. And I think number three would be you should be willing to work really flexi hours. We're working on Holi, we're working on Diwali, we're working on Christmas. Sometimes you can't take a leave for, say, IPL season is on. You will have to be present in the studio at odd hours because you have to give match updates. So if you're okay with working odd hours, you're okay with reading a lot and consuming a lot of information. And if you're okay with putting your thoughts together in 40 seconds flat, then you're made for radio.
And with this, we've come to the final segment of our show, which is a rapid fire. So you know the
Okay.
drill, you know how rapid fires
I
work, right?
love that. I ask all celebrities who come to my studio. I just like quickly go through all the segments because I want to get to the rapid fire. I love it, and no one's ever done a rapid fire with me. So now
Oh
I'm
wow!
finally feeling the heat of the hot seat that I put people on. So kudos to you, girl. You managed to do this for the first time. I'm really nervous, but let's
Yay!
give it a shot.
Superb, superb. So now I'm
Okay.
also all charged. So let's begin. Creator or someone you love to watch on social media. Who would that be?
Uh, I love Mansi because she's my producer of Beat Mansi, absolute favorite content creator. I also think I love Dr. Gabor Mate, but he's not a content creator. He's just a great psychologist. I consume his work a lot. There's Steel Swan. She's a content creator. She talks about relationships and psychology. Fantastic. I think I've given you my top three.
Oh, superb. All right. Your favorite genre for content creation, what would that be?
Uh, Entertainment. I mean, I think just the funnies. Personally, I consume humor a lot. So if someone's funny, I love it.
Oh, superb. So are you also awake late night watching reels that are really
Yeah,
funny,
yeah, like show me anything that's funny, and yeah, yeah, I love it. You know, in fact, I love the funny so much that there are these really random odd reels. Like someone introduced me to Raja vlogs where he got
Okay.
married on Insta. Like legit, he
Yes,
got married on Insta.
viral
He has
wedding that
4
happened.
million, 4 million followers. I love the guy. Like I look at it, it's so cute and it's
Yeah.
so funny at the same time. I will watch anything that makes me laugh out loud. Literally.
Super. All right. So one Gen Z slang or word that has just stuck with you and that's always there in your mind.
Can I give you any AF, FML? I wake up every morning and I'm like FML. Uh, yeah, there's AF, there's FML, there's RN, and all of my friends are like, "What are you typing? Why can't you write right now?" And I'm like, "Just RN." Or like, your drip is on point. A whole bunch of it actually. Everything just stays in my head
You're
because it
basically a Gen Z at heart then. You know all these slangs, by the way.
inside of me there is like sometimes if I'm having a really bad time with my console because it's not working or something, I'll go to the IT guy, look at him, and I'll say, "Sir, your radio is not radioing anymore." And he's like, "Sorry, ma'am." I'm like, "You know what, my life is FML." And he's like, "What are you saying?" And I'm like, "You won't get it, it's fine, let it be, bro." And he's like,
All
"Humko bro
right,
to
Roshi.
so yeah.
So you're cool AF. With that, let's head to the next question. One thing that you love about your job that you think is absolutely
I love everything about my job. It's the world's most wonderful job. I love that. I love my job so much, touch wood, that when I go to work, I feel like I don't work. Because when you actually love what you do, you don't feel like you worked a single day. I love that I get to talk to people. I love that I get to hear my own voice back. I love that I get a fantastic studio where I just get to just say whatever I want. I love that I have to do research and development about love. I love everything about my job. In my opinion, mine is the best job in the whole wide
okay. So the next question is going to be a head scratcher for you because one thing that you do not like about your job, what would that be?
world. There is nothing I don't like about my job. In fact, sometimes I want to do the other person's show as well. So what I don't like is that I don't get to do every show through the day. Yeah, that's what I don't like.
All right. So since we talked about social media as well, one thing that you think is a must have for any content creator these days, one quality
Um,
very essential.
just to think on your feet. I mean, it doesn't apply to me so much, but I think if you're thinking on your feet, there's a news piece that's come in, you twist it with your own way of communicating, and it's out there and it can go viral. So just the ability to think on your feet, integral.
All right. So one your favorite pastime, basically, one thing that you love doing when you're not working.
I'm reading. There's a book in my bag, there's a book in my pocket, there's a book. I mean, I'm talking to you right now and I have this massive book next to me. I'm
Wow.
reading about Salvador Dali. I love reading. I love watching movies. I love writing poetry. I love gardening. Any of these things, I'll be found doing any of these things.
All right. So this wasn't a part of my questionnaire, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Your favorite book of late, since you love reading so much.
Oh, that's amazing. I would suggest that you read this book of poetry called Charles Bukowski on Love. This guy is mental. He was consistently drunk and he was consistently trying to figure out everything about love. And his poetry is not love and daisies, like how people butter it up. His poems are crazy, they're wonky, they're eccentric. I think everyone should read that. I'm rereading Love Story, which is such an old book. I started reading it when I was in school, but I read it every time. I keep revisiting it. And okay, don't tell this to a lot of people, but I love reading Enid Blyton's fairy tales. So that's a must have.
That's
Yeah,
really cute.
I
Oh,
think reading
super.
fairy tales just makes your life really happy. So if you're having a really bad day and you read a fairy tale, it's a kid's thing, but I promise you it will make you feel significantly better.
Wow, wow, that's one thing I don't think a lot of people would say, but that's actually very interesting. So, all right,
You
your current favorite song, something that you can play all day on your radio.
on my radio.
Yeah.
On my radio, the song that plays and that makes me really happy is Satranga, which is a song from I don't know which film, because I don't know films, but I know the music because we play it all the time. It's a really
Okay.
nice love ballad sort of thing, and it's got Arijit Singh's voice, so I think that really
I
works.
guess that's from Animal, if I'm not wrong. I
Yep,
believe.
it's from Animal. You're right. I didn't like the movie, but I love the song.
All right, superb. So, one quick message or a piece of advice or anything in general that you would like to say to the people watching you right now, Roshi, what would that be?
I honestly, I just want people to know that the times we live in, we end up comparing ourselves so much, feeling so anxious and so stressed out, especially because there's so much social media. There are so many people doing better, looking better, probably feeling better, or that's the feeling we get. I just want every single person to know that they're incredibly unique, incredibly awesome. There is one bit of awesomeness inside you that nobody else will have. Instead of focusing what you don't have, if you focus on how incredible you are as a person, you just learn to love yourself better. And once we love ourselves better, we're just nicer human beings. And what this world needs is just a lot of kindness. So when we start being kind to ourselves, we're able to be kinder to other people. Just that.
That's so beautifully put. And I think if, everyone starts feeling that way, the world would be a much better place to live in.
Happier for sure, right? And full of love. So instead of focusing on the, I always say, don't focus on the triggers, focus on the glimmers. So every day you will have five triggers and five beautiful things that are sparkling. We tend to focus on the triggers, but not the sparkling glimmers. So focus on the glimmers, don't focus on the triggers. You'll be a happier person.
All right. So, with this, we've come to the end of our rapid fire round as well. I think you did superbly well, Roshi.
Yay, where's my hamper?
And
I want
getting a
a hamper.
rapid. All right. Loads of love.
Right back at you. It was so amazing talking to you. You are so gorgeous, so pretty, so amazing. And I love that my first rapid fire happened with you. I will
I
always
am
remember this
so
for the
glad.
rest
I
of my
feel
life.
honored, and I would love to have a conversation with you again sometime. Thank you for being with us today, Roshi. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you. I hope everyone watching, including you, everyone in your backend team, all of you have a beautiful life. You stay blessed now and forever.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. See you.